as you are watching this, or if you're watching this at the time this has been uploaded, I'm currently on the way home from a work conference. I don't have much time before then to film a proper video because today is Tuesday and I go away on Thursday, and all the videos I'm filming currently are like videos that take days to complete. So instead I am going back to my 1,000 question survey and picking up where we left off at. I like how my phone has just gone from 20% to 10% in about 2 minutes. Love that for me. But we are going to continue where we left off, and I'll do what I usually do, continue on until I've filmed about 30 minutes, and then we will call it a day. I believe the next question I need to start on with is 1368 or 1368 or 1368, however you want to call it. Let's go. What year did you or will you graduate from high school? There's a lot of beeping outside, I'm not too sure what's happening. I finished secondary school when I was 17. I finished in year 12. In the UK you can finish at year 11 when you're 16, and you can continue on to do further education at schools for your A-levels for year 12 and 13. I didn't do my A-levels, I did a BTEC in year 12, and then I went and moved across to a college and did a couple of courses there to then give me the equivalent to go to university, because I failed my GCSEs, which are important exams in year 11. I did not do well with them, so I couldn't do my A-levels, I couldn't do what I wanted to do, so I had to do a roundabout way of doing it. Anyway, so I ended up going to university, I think 2 years later than everyone else. So 2008 is when I graduated. We don't really say graduated in the UK, it's a very American thing. We only graduate from university as far as I'm aware. So 1369, do you use moisturizer? Yes, I definitely use like a face moisturizer. I tend to use a sun cream as well, that is a moisturizer. Yeah, I do that every day on my face. I like to protect my face, and that's probably why I'm so pale, it's because I use sun protection. And I also use moisturizer at night time as well as part of my nighttime routine. So yeah. 1370, and what parts of your body? Oh, I just answered that. On my legs, on my arms, because my legs, especially in the winter, get very dry. My elbows get quite dry, and then on my face. But then, of course, in the summer, I moisturize everywhere that the sun hits. 1371, are the 70s back in style? Well, I know this was written about 20 years ago, but they kind of are. Like, flares are back in fashion now, so yes. Or maybe they never went away, but flares are definitely back in it. 1372, do you read any magazines? I do not, actually. I do not read any magazines. I don't think I've read a magazine in about 15 years. 1373, do you read before going to sleep at night? Yes, yes I do. I don't know if it's embarrassing to mention, but I do read fan fiction on a regular basis of some stuff that I'm into. So I do read fan fiction before I go to bed. I'm not even going to lie about that. I read a lot of AO3 stuff. No Wattpad stuff. I never have been a fan of Wattpad, but a lot of AO3 stuff, because some of the stuff on there is quality material. But then of course I do as well read my actual books. I'm like 8 books behind in my venture at the moment, but I'm trying to read 52 books this year, and I'm 8 books behind, so I'm not doing quite well there, but I will try and catch up. That's actually a future video, is trying to catch up with that. I tend to block out like an hour before I go to sleep and try and read. If I don't get my 1 hour of reading done before I go to bed, I'll then do it when I'm in bed. But there is always the risk that I will fall asleep reading. especially because my Kindle has a light on the back of it, so I can easily just fall asleep reading it because I don't have to have a main light on. I can just have the Kindle on. So yeah, it's dangerous territory because it could go either one way. I could fall asleep reading it, or I could stay up the entire night reading the book, because there have been times when that's happened, when I've been so into a book that I have stayed up the entire night, and then it's work the next morning and I've had 2 hours of sleep. 1374. Are you a music maker? I mean, I play guitar, I play the flute, I play piano, but I'm definitely not someone who can sing. I'm definitely not someone who can write their own music, but I can definitely play instruments. Yes. I feel like it's quite easy for me to pick up somehow, but 1375. Are you a dreamer of the dreams? Does that mean I think about the dreams that I've had and I wish that those dreams came true? Like I dreamed that my dream came true? Is that sort of thing? I don't know. I guess it depends what the dream is. 1376. How do you feel about large corporations? I honestly don't really have much of a thought on it. They are there for a reason, I guess. As long as they pay their staff well, we're okay. 1377. How do you feel about people who are just doing their job? I'm fine with it. I mean, there are some jobs that are absolutely dire that some people have to go through and do it, and I feel like there are some jobs where people absolutely annihilate people for doing, and it's not even like their fault. Maybe they can't get a new job, maybe it's the only job that they can do, maybe it's the only one available. Like, they're just doing their job. 1378. Which would you watch of these choices? Pitch Black, The Mummy, or Pretty Woman? I've never watched Pitch Black. I think I've seen some of The Mummy, like if it's been like rerun on TV, or like on a weekend. I think I've watched some of The Mummy, but I don't think I've watched all of it. However, I've seen Pretty Woman several times, love the film, so I'm gonna say Pretty Woman. 1380. About what percent of the time do you feel good about yourself? Probably about 30% of the time. I mean, to be honest, right now, I guess since I've worked from home and no one really sees me, I don't really care as much about how I feel about myself, because no one else is going to see me. Like, literally, you guys are like my friends now, and I don't really even care about wearing makeup on videos anymore. Like, literally, case in point, today I've not washed my hair, I've not put makeup on, I'm just sitting here in my workout gear, leaning next to whatever, talking to you guys. I have obviously days where it's worse, but at the moment I'm okay. I did not feel great about myself last week when I was in a real struggle. I was really down and low and not comfortable in any way possible. This week I'm feeling much better. So it changes. It's like an everyday thing, you know? It just changes day to day. 1381. Do you feel comfortable with other people in social situations? It depends on what the social situation is. Yes and no. It depends. I'm very much an introverted person. I don't really do well in social situations, and the idea of being social scares me. I have no chat at all. I have no idea whatever to talk about. I just kind of sit there in silence. So unless we are like friends and we are at a social situation that's based around like a show we're going to, a concert we're going to, a sport that we love, I'm fine in those social situations. But when it's a social situation, why am I struggling to say that? A social situation where I'm not comfortable in, no, I would much prefer to come home and leave as soon as possible. And I get like I get anxious as it is, So the idea of being in those situations is like my worst nightmare. So there's the tea of that. 1382. Do you have good friends or family relationships? I guess so. A lot of my friends are online friends. I rarely meet up with anyone offline, maybe like once a year or twice a year. Feel like I struggle to make friends and I close myself off a lot because of my past being bullied and people not understanding me, and prefer not to make friends at this point. I'm in my 30s and I much prefer being by myself, and I prefer having online relationships because I can think about what I can say before I respond. I don't have to respond straight away, whereas when I'm in person you can't just like blank them right in front of your face. So yeah. Family, I mean, I feel like I'm close to my family, but again, I feel like they're probably closer to each other. I don't really have the same interests they all do. I prefer other stuff. I prefer different sports. I prefer doing different stuff with them, and yeah, it just, I always feel like I'm just sitting there for no reason. So I'm also not really close to like my cousins either, because they're all like 20 years older than me. And then like my cousins' kids, they're all kids, you know. So yeah, I feel really awkward because I'm like in between ages. I'm also the youngest in my family, and I just feel like I don't really connect with anyone very well. So yeah. 1384. Are you able to meet the demands of life and function in society? I think so, just about. I am surviving, so yeah. 1385. Do you curb your feelings of hatred and guilt? No. No, I don't. I've got a million on my lap. 1386. Do you maintain a positive outlook? No. I'm very negative. Very negative. I always think about what bad is going to happen. That didn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. 1387. Does knowing you enrich the lives of others? I don't think so. I think I'm easily forgettable. I think people would easily forget me. I think that's why I haven't maintained any friends from school. I think that's why a lot of my online friends can easily just disappear, and it will feel like we've never been friends, and I'm just easily forgotten. 1388. What things do you cherish? So I'd say Formula 1 at the moment has been my saviour. It helped me when I was feeling the worst. Finding the online community, which I didn't realise there was one until 2020, which is ridiculous. I just did not realise that they had an online community and like people are there. Like I was so heavily into the One Direction fandom that I didn't escape it, and then I left the One Direction fandom in like 2021 and joined the Formula 1 fandom, and I feel like I found my family there. Like I've made so many friends I speak to on a daily basis. They're all online. A couple of them I've met offline. I am always scared that they will just stop talking to me. That's always in the back of my mind because that's happened so many times in the past. 1389. To what extent do you value diversity? I mean, I'm quite privileged, I feel like, who I am, where I live, and everything like that. But I always think about other people and the lack of diversity there are in places, and like equality and all that stuff. And yeah. 1390. What fascinates you? I've always had a fascinating or fascination, should I say, in like the fact like we can talk. This is a technology that exists. Like, how is this possible? That we live in homes, that we are this living earth, that we're like this, and like outside of this earth, like in the universe, there has to be other planets like this that we've not found yet. And I think that fascinates me, that we're the only ones like this. Like the planets that are around us, like Jupiter, Mars, Neptune, Uranus, etc, etc, all have no living beings on it. How have we got so lucky that we have evolved from like dinosaurs up until this, to the point where we are no longer like all the animals? We are separate and we can do all this stuff. We have homes, we have books, we can read, we can write, we can talk, we have all this technology. Fascinating, like how? I just don't understand it sometimes. This is what fascinates me, and I can go on lengthily about this sort of discussions as well. 1391. Do you appreciate nature? Yes. Yes, I do. I absolutely love nature. 1392. If you could be someone else for a day, who would you be? I think what I would love to be, or who I would love to be, I don't specifically have a person in mind, but it is genuinely someone who is like an A-lister or an F1 driver, you know, or like a top tier celebrity on stage, or an actor, actress, singer, anyone who's like really, really famous. I would love to be them for a day, just to kind of see what their daily life is like. Like, I would love to see like an F1 driver, what their weekends are like from their own eyes. I don't know, like Paris Hilton, or like someone like, I don't know, Nicole Kidman, you know, someone who's on like a movie set, or a singer that's on tour, like Harry Styles, maybe not Harry Styles, but you know who I mean, like Louis Tomlinson, or just anyone famous. I think it'd be fascinating, because I'm such a normal nobody with less than 1,000 people who watch these videos or are subscribed to watch these videos. So the idea of having someone with that big a platform who everyone kind of follows and sees and gets packed, and you can't do anything without anyone, like you can't do anything basically without people finding you and seeing you, and I just want to see what that's like. 1393. Would you ever consider psychic surgery if you were ill? Or voodoo or herbal remedies? I don't know what psychic surgery is, so I'm not too sure what that is. Voodoo, again, I don't really feel like that's real. But herbal remedies, I have tried that in the past. It doesn't really help them. 1394. How effective do you feel meditation is? So I do meditation on an off basis. I feel like it helps me sleep when I get really bad in my sleeping pattern. It's the only thing that really helps like bring me back and get back to sleep. It's also really good when I'm really stressed out, but it's not something I could do every single day or like preach about. It's just certain situations where I feel like it kind of is a nice little guidance to follow, but I no longer do it every single morning, which I used to do, but I don't do it every single morning anymore because I didn't really feel like it made any difference to my day. 1395. How effective do you feel prayer is? So I think I'm a Christian. I was christened, so I'm guessing that means I'm a Christian, right? But I used to pray every night as a child, and nothing ever changed. So I feel like prayers are just pointless. Maybe some people are just lucky, or just coincidental. I can't speak today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Coincidental. 1396. How do you think that you, or anyone else for that matter, could pray without ceasing? I won't, though. I won't. 1397. Is religion a live option for you? That is a possibility, something that you are drawn to even you have no belief. So, I mean, there are times where I'm like, do I believe in God or do I not believe in God? I'm still not too sure, to be honest. I don't have a Bible. I don't pray. I don't really believe in that stuff. Of course, religion is an option for anyone. You can always opt in to doing it. You can choose to believe in it or not. I'm kind of like, what's the word? I am indifferent about it. That's what I would say. 1398. What part of your body do you lavish the least attention and love on? I mean, I have no attention on any part of my body. Let's be real, guys. No one has ever loved any of me. I'm still single, still there, still never been in a relationship, and 32 years old. So I guess if I think about it, it would be my stomach area or it would be my feet. 1399. How many clocks are in your house? So I have 2 analog clocks that are on the wall that have been stopped for like 2 years. I've not put any batteries in them since. And then I've got my microwave oven and they're 2 things, my microwave and my oven, and my radio, which are all digital clocks. And then of course I've got my phone, which is a clock in itself. My iPad, that's a clock on it, and I've got my watch, that's a clock. I'm going silly now, but yeah. Really, if you're thinking about like, you know, the old school clocks, then 2, but I've got way more than 2 really when you think about it. 1400. What topics would you like to see more of on the survey? Okay, well that one is a one that I don't need to answer because this is a survey that's been built like 20 years ago, so I'm just going to ignore that one. Right, let's move on to the next post. 1401. Do you like your movies and books to be more light-hearted or serious? I don't really like comedies, though I prefer books that are comedies. I don't like films that are comedies. I don't really find film comedies funny. I find the acting kind of bad in them. Serious if they make me cry. 1402. What's more important? First impressions or lasting impact? Ooh, that's a big one. Because you kind of want to have both, don't you? You'd like to have both, but first impressions obviously can kind of guide you to how you feel about that person, but your impressions can always change. So I think it's lasting impact. I think it's got to be that, because I feel like when you have a lasting impact, you're more likely to be remembered versus someone whose first impression of you, because your first impression could be terrible. You could be having the worst day of your life and just be really grumpy, or the other person is. So I think, yeah, lasting impact, 100%. 1403. Order these areas of psychological health from what you need the least improvement in to what you need the most improvement in. So physical, emotional, social, intellectual, environmental, and spiritual. So least improvement. So physical, I'm pretty much always on top of that now, so I'm good on that one. So it's going to be physical. Intellectual, I'm pretty good at. And then environmental. Social, maybe. Emotional, and then spiritual. So spiritual is the thing I need the most improvement on. 1404. Do you react appropriately to things and control your feelings? Honestly, I feel like I struggle with that part of my brain. With reacting to things, I don't know how to react to stuff sometimes. I feel like I just go point blank in my brain. I just go blank in my brain and I just can't think of a good way of reacting. and then I feel bad because I just don't know how to do that. Well, I'm going to try to, but it might not look that way. 1405. Do you have stable relationships? I don't know. I don't think so. 1406. Do you need to be in a relationship to feel good about yourself? No. No, you do not. You should feel good about yourself no matter if you're in a relationship or when you're not in a relationship, to be honest. A person should not be the guiding force to how you feel about yourself. Generally, don't think being in a relationship would change how I feel about myself either. Anyway, I'm gonna go because my bum is really sore sitting on the floor here. So I'm gonna call it a day, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for my next video. Bye guys.